to all the nations, to preserve the works of your mercy, so that your church may continue confessing your name with unwavering faith and hope. May we remember that all authority is rightly administered, laws are enacted, judgments are decreed only through you, O God, the source of our wisdom and justice. Assist with your spirit of counsel and fortitude Mayor Dustin Yates and all the elected officials of the city of St. George, that their administration may be conducted in righteousness and eminently useful to the people of the city by encouraging due respect for virtue, by faith, and by practicing justice, mercy. Let the light of your divine wisdom shine forth in these leaders so that they may tend to the preservation of peace, the promotion of happiness, the increase of industry, sobriety, useful knowledge, perpetuating within us the blessings of equal liberty. Enable Mayor Yates to discharge his duties with honesty and great fidelity. And bless this administration. Bless them with strength and endurance as they carry out their duties, often in challenging and stressful circumstances. Grant them discernment in their work so that they can provide sound advice and make wise decisions. And help them all to maintain a spirit of service and selflessness, always putting not their needs first, but the needs of others. And finally, give them a sense of purpose and fulfillment in their work, knowing they are making valuable contributions to this great community and to our nation. May they continue to serve with dedication and great commitment, knowing that St. George's citizens do appreciate and value all of their efforts. And finally, bless the citizens of St. George, so that they may be preserved in union and in that peace which the world cannot give. We ask these things and all blessings in your holy name. Amen. Amen.
There we go. Well, y'all look good tonight. You feel good tonight? America is a great idea. Nowhere like it in the world. America is an idea. And tonight, that idea speaks loudly. And so loud that you'll hear it all over the state of Louisiana. That one of the greatest cities ever formed takes its shape in a greater form tonight by the election of a brand new mayor. America is an idea that says that we can govern ourselves. And there are people that would give everything to have what we've had tonight. I thought on our way, Cindy and I are making our way here tonight, it was a rough storm to get here. We had a lot of water up in our Tahoe. When it's that high, we know the streets need some drainage. Fortunately, we got a mayor that's going to take care of it. America's an idea that when a little boy grows up and has no idea of anything like a St. George or being a mayor, but just wants to grow up and be a good kid. He grew up and was that kind of guy. Grew up to a good man. For 10 years, I've met this man that's worked and served in our fire units and led people. You know why? Because America is a great idea. And tonight I want to tell you that you're a part of history tonight. You'll never be in a room like this ever again, because tonight, for the first time in history, we get to dedicate a night of honor to you and the people of St. George by introducing to you not only a great man, but an idea that has now come to fruition. In just a moment, we'll bring our hero, our beginning hero, and I say that without a doubt because I believe in his heart, I believe in his leadership, and I believe in what God has put in his life. Sounds like you're ready. Are you ready? That's not enough. They're on the other side of the room. Are you ready?
imagine to introduce to you the first mayor of the city of St. George, Louisiana, Dustin Yates.
That was quite the opening, for sure. The first word that comes to my mind right now is just humility and being completely humbled by this entire experience. It's difficult to explain to folks what we've been through over the last so many years. The trials and tribulations, the successes and the failures. It's been an experience that would probably make a pretty good made-for-TV movie at some point in time. I always tell folks that probably my biggest regret in this whole thing was not having a camera crew follow us around from the early part, because I think it would make a nice documentary. Yesterday I got a little reminiscent of some of the things that we've been through in the past and some of the things that I've experienced in my life. And I couldn't help but be reminded of a picture that hung on my grandmother's wall. As a child, it was in her living, actually in her dining room, and it was footprints in the sand. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are very familiar with footprints in the sand. So I'll paraphrase a little bit of it. As we go along our life and our journey, we make our footprints in the sand. And there's sometimes where there's two sets of footprints, there's sometimes where there's one set of footprint, right? And when there's two sets, God is always walking next to us. And there's times in our life when there's just one set of footprints in the sand. And as the prayer goes, the man turns to God and says, during my most difficult times, I looked and there was only one set of footprints. Where did you go? And God looks at the man and says, there was only one set of footprints in the sand because I was carrying you. And I can tell you as a living testament, as I stand before you today, that this journey with St. George, there's only been one footprint in the sand, and that's been the footprints of God. I've said this from the very beginning, and I'll continue to say it as long as I serve in this role. We have taken God out of government for far too long. We rely on our own wisdom, our own decision-making. We've removed God from the decision-making process. If we want to be better, if we want to be the best, if we want to be great, God has to have his seat at the table. There's so many people to thank. It's hard for me to sum it all up, but I'll try the best I can. The first people that I want to thank and foremost is my family. My family has always been there. They've always supported me. My parents, they're here today. My dad, right here. My mom's right over here, Carol. My stepdad is somewhere around here. There he is, right there in the back. The love and support that they have showed me in my entire life, I can't possibly express enough gratitude for them, but just for you all to know that the only reason I'm here today is because of you. And it means the world to me. I have so many other family people here. I'm looking at one right here. I came from a great family, a family that was deeply rooted in our faith, deeply rooted in love, and it still shows today. And that's the same thing that I try to pass on to my own children. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here and always supporting all the crazy things that I've wanted to do in my life. My children. This is the time I get to embarrass my kids. So always my favorite time. My daughter Avery here, 17 years old, just made 17. My son Bennett, who also just made 15. And my wonderful wife, Allison. Without them there every day, without them to go home to every day, this life wouldn't be worth living for me. And nothing that I do or nothing that I will ever do will ever be worth anything without them and without their love and support by my side. You know, we talk about it a lot at home. And just the other night, Allison said, you know, all these things that you get into and all these paths that you lead down, you know, sometimes it drives me crazy. But I still love you, and I still support you. And that's really what it's all about. So to my family, a few other people in my family that are no longer with us that played such a huge role in my life, and I would be, I don't think I'd be doing them a service if I didn't mention them here today, because they played such a large role in my formation as a man, really. The first one is my grandmother. My grandmother, that's my family clapping, by the way. Okay. The first one is my grandmother. My grandmother was my best friend. She was the person that showed me what it meant to serve. So my entire life has been built on service, and I can directly relate that back to my grandmother. The woman loved like no other person that I've ever been around. She served without question, and her legacy lives on today. Her legacy lives on in me standing behind this podium today. I wouldn't be here without her. Another person I'd like to mention who had such a huge role in my life is my Uncle Glenn. My Uncle Glenn was an unbelievable man. And if he was here today, I know exactly what Uncle Glenn would do. He would look at me. He'd have a smile and he'd start chuckling, and he said, "Bring it in. This is a hugger." So a few other groups that I like to mention. You know, I spent 20 years in the fire department. 20 years riding fire trucks, you know, administrating different things in the fire department. And I know there was a little thing going around that firefighters didn't support me. But I can tell you there's a lot of people in this room that would beg to differ with that. Some of the best times in my life, were spent at that fire department. And we spent 20 years building it and growing it into the finest fire department in the state of Louisiana. For that, I will be forever indebted to our fire chief, Jerry Tarleton, and all the men and women that I've served with for the past 20 years. It's been an absolutely unbelievable experience. Next, I'll bring my dad a little bit into this one, but I think it's important to mention because I always said that I'd never forget, and this world should never forget, the sacrifices of so many. My dad is an Army veteran. My dad is a veteran of the Vietnam War. I think it's unbelievably important to understand that the only reason we're here today, the only reason we had an election today, the only reason why people had an opportunity to cast a vote today was because of the sacrifices of so many that were made before us. So many. Liberty and freedom is not free. It comes with a price. And there's so many men and women that paid that price. Two men that I'll mention here today that paid the ultimate price is my dad's two best friends in Vietnam, Kevin Cregan and Louis Marciano, paid the ultimate price. Paid the ultimate price for us to enjoy everything that we can enjoy today. So for our veterans out there, the ones that are putting their lives on the line every day for our country, so we can have elections, so we can build new governments, so we can do great things in this country, we will always forever be indebted to you. To all my other friends, a bunch of St. George friends here, you know. Both City of St. George friends as well as St. George Church parishioners, some of my closest friends in the whole world. Your love and support has meant the world to me. You know, I've had the opportunity over the years to coach many of your children. Some of the best times, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, some of the best times of my life. And as I look up, I see some of the kids in the back of the room that I actually had the opportunity to coach. Yeah. So those relationships have always meant the world to me and will always continue to mean the world to me. think I thanked everybody. Did I thank everybody? My fellow council folks, the ones that have been putting in the work for the last 8 or 9 months, and all the other volunteers that have put in so much work since really 2010 and 2011. We have the founder of the St. George movement here, so I wasn't the founder of the St. George movement, but Mr. Norman Browning was. And I don't know where he went off to, but Mr. Josh Hoffpower, too. Now, a little bit about St. George. This battle has been long and arduous. Started so many years ago through 2 petition processes, through litigation, finally getting to the point where our Supreme Court said we could become a city. Appointments were made. We've been serving as volunteers for the last 10 months, doing the very best that we could for the residents of the city of St. George. And here we are today, a day that we never thought would ever come, a day where we had an opportunity to stand in front of you. I stand in front of you as an elected official of being the first elected mayor for the city of St. George. I can tell you this was nothing I ever dreamed or envisioned. This was something that I never sought out. But every now and again, God will come up behind you or beside you and tap you on the shoulder and say, son, I got a different plan for you. I have a different plan for you, and that's exactly what he did. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, Dustin, I know you've been doing this other stuff for a long time, but I'm going to need you to serve me in a different way. So I answered the call, and I've always said this, whether it's teaching, whether it's coaching, whether it's the fire department, whether it's the city of St. George, I will always serve. I will always serve the people of the city of St. George, the state of Louisiana, and wherever else I'm called to do. Where God puts me is where he needs me, and I firmly believe that. And that is the only reason why I stand before you here today. When we talk about St. George, this is one of my favorite things really to talk about. I could talk about St. George all day. And the thing that people really have to understand about us is that ultimately there's 2 different types of government in this world. There's a government of probability and there's a government of possibility. The government of probability is what you're used to. We do things because it's probably going to work. We do things because it's probably not too much risk involved in it. We do things because it's probably not going to anger too many people. And we settle for that. We settle for that on a local level, a state level, and a federal level. But the tide has turned. The tide has turned. The tide has turned on a federal level, it's turned on a state level, and now it's turned on a local level. So if we don't accept the government of probability, what do we have left? Well, we have the government of possibility.
Yes, yes, sir.
And the government of possibility takes risks. The government of possibility takes chances. The government of possibility puts ourselves out there in ways that some governments have never done before. But that's where the fruit is. That's where the good stuff is. Is it easy? Absolutely not. It'll all be hard. Okay, will we make friends along the way? Sure. Will we make some enemies along the way? Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Whoever said that must be in government. Yeah. But possibility is what we deserve. It's what we deserve. We shouldn't be begging for the scraps off of somebody else's table. And that was the very genesis of the city of St. George. We were tired of begging for the scraps off of somebody else's table. So we said, you know what, we're going to set up our own table. And we're going to do our own thing. And we're going to create our own government. And that government has to be based off of possibility. What is possible in government? What is possible for elected officials? What is possible for delivering the very best services that we can to the citizens of St. George? And I can tell you this thing, and I can tell you from the very bottom of my heart, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly how we're going to deliver to the residents of St. George. I probably could talk on for a little bit longer, but I won't. Once again, very humbled by all the support that I received, very humbled by the voters turning out and showing their support for me in the ballots today. Let me tell you, if you never run for office, it's a unique experience. It's a unique experience. When you're sitting at home last night, and you realize there's nothing left to do. There's nothing left to do. There's nothing else you can do. All you have to do is sit there and wait. Let me tell you, this week has been a long, long wait. Long, long wait. So, once again, bless you. God bless St. George. God bless America. And let's have a wonderful, wonderful next 4 years. Thank you all. Hold on. Hold on. Real quick. Forgot to mention this. So, talking about changes in government and doing things a little bit differently, and we talk about the federal level and the state level and the local level. Very, very happy and very, very proud to have a man here tonight that will be part of this change. Will be part of this revolution, if you will, of new government and delivering services in a different way, and really wanting to right the ship on what we have experienced in previous years in East Baton Rouge Parish. So I can't see him. I don't know where he's at. I'm sorry. Coach Sid Edwards. Yeah, thank you. Come on, come talk.
I'm going to congratulate you, Mayor, but the biggest congratulation is to the citizens of St. George. Y'all won tonight. Big time victory. So I am going to be honored to serve with this man and all the council. And I just can't tell you how excited I am. And it's going to be a different deal. So the scraps you've been getting, brother, it's going to be filet mignon. We are And to the council, I don't know who all won. I think, Patty, you're in a runoff. You go run it off with. And I knew David DeLucci when he was 14 years old. Congratulations. So this is y'all night. Y'all celebrate and enjoy it. And I'm just humbled to be a part of this great thing that's about to happen, brother.
Thank you, Coach. All right.
Pardon me, sorry, I'm sorry, too sorry. Watch out, come on. My spirit's going good. You got this one. See if she'll come back online. All right.
They want me to go viral, bro.